Sorry I'm running a little late. I was in West Point speaking at the Rotary Club today, so hustled over here. But appreciate everybody being here, and obviously I'm awfully glad to have this one sitting next to me today. Really excited about our team. Just as I've said in the last 3 years, it's a different team, but man, they're really, really talented and really skilled, and I'm super excited about them. They're going to be extremely fun to watch. Jordan, in her month that she's been back, has been sensational, doing a great job trying to lead this young team, and she does it in every way you can think of, on the court, off the court, verbal. She's just been a real blessing, and we're really fortunate to get her back, and really, again, complimenting our compliance office for being able to do that. I think it's the right thing to do, and so this will, Joe's actually only had 2 full seasons of competition, so excited about her, and again, excited about our entire team. We had a great experience this summer, and certainly that was beneficial for us. We practiced in June like it was January, and so that's good and bad. It's good in that we were able to get 4 weeks of extra workouts in, and then go compete against some really good teams over in the World University game. But you got to be careful about, especially with these freshmen, about wearing them out too soon. So that's why we sent them home for the second summer session, and let them kind of get their legs back underneath them before we got started again here in the fall. So again, I think this TV schedule came out yesterday, and we've got a lot of opportunities there. I think people across the country have been able to see Mississippi State in a real positive environment for our basketball program, and what that environment looks like on game day in the Hump, and how special that is. And so that's great for TV. And I think somebody said we had 6 out of our 13 games were here in the Hump. So excited about having the opportunity to continue to show the world and the country what our great university is all about. And so we're getting ready. We're practicing every day this week until Friday. I'll give them the weekend off. Next week we'll go up through Thursday. I've been giving them fall break off, y'all. It's something I've done in the last 3 years, and it's worked out well. And so we'll give them fall break again Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then once they come back from that, we're kind of in it to win it at that point. And it's usually a 6-day week for us working out.
All right, I'll take questions for Joe. We'll start with Steve, and then we'll go to Robbie.
Joe, in 18, you guys were very much a perimeter team with 4 3-point assassins out there. Last year, more of a post presence with Tierra and Riel. How would you kind of characterize the offense for the 2020 season?
I think for this season, we have a lot of different combinations, a lot of different players that can do a lot of different things. We have a nice post game. We got a lot of big post players this year, a lot of big guards this year. We have some people that can shoot it well from the 3 as well as drive. So I think it'll be hard to stop us.
Robbie.
Hey Joe, just going back to you being able to play this year and getting another season. When did you find out about that, and what were your feelings getting that opportunity to play one more year at college?
Well, we put in a waiver over the summer, and I got the news the day before school started, literally. So Coach Schaefer called me and said he wanted to check on me and chat with me. So I came up to the office, and I really wasn't expecting that news. I don't know why I wasn't expecting something like that, because we have been waiting on it, but at that point, for some reason that day, my mind wasn't really thinking about that, so I was in complete shock when I was given the news. And he asked me, did you still want to do it? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then they started ringing cowbells, and was like, well, you got your year back. And a lot of different emotions came through when I heard those words, those news, and we were able to call my mom, call my grandpa, and then, I don't know, I just felt excited, relieved a little bit. So it was a good feeling.
Going back even before that, what were the months like after you guys lost to Oregon and leading up to that moment that you just described? Were you at home in Conway, or were you here
was still in Starkville. I was still in school over the summer as well. I always knew that it was a possibility. When I left that game, of course, I was feeling, hurt and disappointed by that night. But I always knew in the back of my head that it is a possibility that I may be able to come back because we had discussed it before. So just those months leading up to this, it was a kind of weird feeling because I didn't know where I would end up, where I would be. It was just playing the waiting game throughout the whole summer, trying to stay focused on if I didn't get my waiver approved, what I would be doing, as well as if I did get it approved, I need to stay in the gym, stay working out, and things like that. But I was very anxious throughout the whole summer.
Steve?
Joe, you've played a lot of basketball and seen a lot of basketball and a lot of veteran players, but now that you're the veteran, when you see these newcomers, who kind of stands out to you? Who's doing a good job?
I think they're all doing a good job. Rakia is doing real good, just getting up and down the floor, and I've seen a lot of her in the passing lanes. I know Coach Schaefer likes to see her denying the ball out there in practice lately, so I think that's pretty good. Our guards, Aaliyah, Jayla, and Jemiah, I've seen them progress over from the first practice that I've seen in the summer, just to now, just their defense and their willingness to learn. They all have some dog in them. They all have some fight in them, which is very exciting to watch. So I think it'd be very exciting to see them play.
You mentioned earlier having
Hey, I'm
confidence.
just gonna wait outside.
You mentioned earlier having confidence in your post players. Obviously, life without Big T starts now. What's it like kind of going through practices and not seeing her out there, but also having confidence in the other post players, like you said?
It is a little different not seeing Tierra out there, not just throwing the ball up to her, get us out of trouble, or her just snagging those rebounds down. It's kind of a little relief for me as a guard that I can go in the post now and try to do something, try to get a rebound or two without her and Riel being there. But I think our post players, just from watching her last year, the last few years, they know what to do, and I know they still ask her questions to this day about what they can do to improve, and just watching her game. My post players, I think they'll be good.
Eric?
Vic, Joe said she was a little nervous while waiting for her ruling. Were you nervous considering how inconsistent these things can sometimes go?
Yeah, I mean, you're anxious. I just think that it's the right decision. It's the right thing for her. I always felt in my heart that we had a great shot at it. But again, you just never know with the committee, and so certainly had some days where I was wondering, but I also wanted to make sure that Joe, this was something that Joe was 100% locked in and ready to do, because when she's 100% locked in, man, she's really good. And you just can't, it's hard to find at any time of year 14 points a game in the SEC to add to your team. Man, it's really hard to find in August. And, that's what she averaged last year was 14. She didn't turn the ball over. She averaged 3 assists, 3 steals, I think, a game, 2 or 3 steals a game, 2 or 3 assists. I mean, so to add a player like her to our current roster was really special, and certainly I knew what the implications and the ramifications could be if we could get her. I'm sure there was probably 13 other schools that weren't real excited to see that, because I think she's earned their respect throughout her career here and the impact that she's had on our program.
Any other questions for Joe? Tom?
I had one for Vic.
Then we'll excuse Joe so she can get ready for practice, and we'll take questions for Vic.
Thank
Alan?
How's Chloe coming along on rehab? How's she looking in the gym and on the court?
She looks good. She's working really hard. She's just now been cleared for contact, and so she's doing fine. That kid's a warrior. She's worked really hard all summer to get herself in great shape, and you know, she seems to be, you know, when you have an injury like that, the physical piece, she's here, you know, our doctors did a great job. Now it's overcoming the mental piece, and you know, some days are better than others when it comes to how that thing feels, but she's working really hard and looks really good.
Logan?
Vic, how much progress have you seen from Promise, maybe since a lot of us saw her on the court a couple of years ago at Ole Miss?
Yeah, not much. She's got a long ways to go. She's, you know, she basically had a reconstruction, just like you'd have a complete reconstruction of a knee. She had a complete reconstruction of her ankle, and so she's a ways away, to be honest with you. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just know she's got a long way to go, and so she's, you know, every day's a little bit more and a little bit more, but she's still got a long way to go before she can even get through, you know, a fifth of practice. So she's got a ways to go.
Go to Robbie and then Brian.
Back to Jordan's situation. It seems like every year you have something like this work in your favor. And you had Andriel come in last year, and Andy got cleared. Do you feel like somebody's looking out for you to have all this good fortune at the front half of your schedule when you get these people cleared or you get these transfers come in?
Sure. I think you just have to take each individual case and realize that each case has its own merits. And I think in each one of these kids' cases, these were circumstances that were out of their control, and each case, quite frankly, merit the merits that warranted them being eligible. And I think the right decision was made. And you know, across the country, you see this every year, and you're seeing kids that in the right circumstance and they're getting approved. And I think that shows, you know, a great deal of not only compassion, but I think it shows a great deal of people doing their homework, these people that make these decisions, and they're doing the right thing for kids. I mean, we're in the kid business. The NCAA is in the kid business. And sometimes, you know what, it's not just kids that sometimes make bad decisions or make mistakes. And so sometimes in these instances, you know, a young person's been in a situation that was out of their control, and so they look at these situations, and why punish the kid for that? And so I just think it shows tremendous leadership by the NCAA and doing the right thing and doing their due diligence, not just going, nope, not happening. You know, what is each case? Because there's still cases that are denied. But, you know, in each one of our kids' cases, I think they made the right decision for these kids. These things happened out of their control.
Brian?
I feel like if you ask the average fan who's the biggest piece for you to replace, they would say Tierra. But I feel like you will say Jazz. Who, you know, looking at your point guard situation, who do you like there? And is that a place where Jordan can help you with her being back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jordan can help us there. You know, Maya's been here now going on her third year, and she's somebody that obviously we're going to need to play. If you can play Maya or Jemiah or Aaliyah at point, then it lets Jordan really be in her position that she needs to play, which is the off guard. Now, if I have to play Jordan at point, my job is to put her in a position still where she's an offensive player. And so, you know, you're right. Replacing your point guard is certainly an important piece. It's the quarterback of the football team. It's, you know, it's a really important position. So we've got to make sure we continue to develop our guards, especially our point guards, and get them ready to play because point guard play affects everybody. Maya is certainly probably my best help side defender, and maybe one of our better on-ball defenders. And so, you know, our job is to help her become the overall player she needs to become, just like it is with every player we have. And you know, I think Jemiah has played some point in high school. Aaliyah has as well. And so we've got to kind of maybe get those kids ready too in case we've got to go to option 3 or 4.
Steve?
Coach, speaking of newcomers, Rakia Jackson obviously was a big part of things for you when you made your overseas trip. How was she acclimated to life and times in the SEC, and what are your expectations for her this year?
Sure. First of all, I think she's acclimated well to our university and our community. You know, I talked to her yesterday, and she's just a happy, smiling kid that enjoys being here. She enjoys our community. She's just she really seems to be comfortable, and she obviously had a big summer for us. Man, you talk about somebody that's really talented and loves the game, works at it, and is highly motivated. And so that kid's, you know, her top end is off the chart. I don't know where it's going to end up, but she's got a chance to be really, really special. And she's gonna be a big key for us as a freshman. And so I think, you know, how she acclimated to the SEC and all that, that's yet to be determined. We all know this league is a well-coached league. It's a defensive league, and so she's going to meet some defenses that are ramped up for her throughout the course of the year, and she's going to have to be able to respond to that on those nights. But she ain't scared, and you know, she had, I think, 38 one night overseas, and averaged 22 while we were over there. And from an offensive standpoint, man, she's really hard to deal with. So really excited about her and what she shot 50% too. So that's another bonus.
Dan?
Coach, obviously you had a good run overseas, but what were some of the things you knew you needed to work on immediately once you got all the girls back for practice this fall?
Yeah, so again, you get exposed over there. I think the Australians exposed us a little bit, and they're really talented. We're just not ready to beat the Australian team that beat us for the gold medal. They were a veteran team, really fundamentally sound, and they exposed us on a couple of different things. So, but again, when you've only practiced a month together, and it's hard to go through every scenario. And I was telling someone the other day, you know, when we played Japan in the friendly, we were down 4 with 1:04, and they had the ball. We ended up getting a stop. We scored. We get another stop. We get another score on an offensive rebound and a stick back. She gets fouled. We get an and one from Jessica. So now we're up 1 with 5 seconds left. And you got to go the length of the floor to score. Well, you're telling them in a timeout, hey, we're switching everything. But unless you really had an opportunity to work on that, it's easier said than done. And sure enough, we screwed it up. And the kid made the shot. She just happened to be standing out of bounds with 1 foot when she made it. And the referee saw it and waved off the basket. Otherwise, we get beat in the friendly. That's just a great example of, hey, we've got to work on some situations. You know, but again, we're so early in the process, especially with those young kids, that that's natural to have to work on that. But, you know, for us, we've got a long way to go. It's a long fall getting ready. And the thing is, you know, when we go to Victoria, Canada to play now, you're fixing to run into 3 NCAA tournament teams there. And, you know, you could face Stanford, who's number 3 in the country, and we got the number 1 recruiting class in the country. So, or one of the top recruiting classes in the country. So, you know, we've got to get ready to go. We've got a very good non-conference schedule, full of teams that win their conference. We've got to play a bunch of mid-majors on the neutral floor, which that's what they want. It's not what I want. That's what they if you're at a mid-major, you get to play a top 10 team on a neutral floor, man, it doesn't get any better. And so we'll have to do that as well. So, but I'm excited about getting this team ready. They work extremely hard. They're compliant. They want to do what it takes every day. They're working really hard. Their attitudes are good. They show up, and so they're fun. You know, they're really fun to see every day.
We have time for a couple more. Tom?
We've kind of touched on it already, but life after Big T, I mean, Jessica, I think you've mentioned a few times that she's probably going to be really, really good in her career here. How good do you think she can be in her second year at Mississippi State?
I need her to be really good. You know, I really, I think right now she's probably our, you know, obviously is more comfortable because she's been in the system. I need Yamaya to come on. You know, Yamaya is our junior college player, and I need her to come on and continue to work and get better and understand the system. Be nice to get Promise healthy. I was telling Johnny this morning, she and I were talking, I'd love to see what our big lineup could look like with Promise in. You know, Promise probably has more poise and more presence in the low post than anybody we have. She's just not able to practice yet. And so, but I'd love to see what that big lineup looks like. You put her and Jessica on the floor together, Jessica at 4, which ultimately that's where I'd love to see Jessica move to at some point in her career. It may be till her senior year, but that's okay. Play Rakia at 3 at 6'2", Joe over there at the 2. I mean, that's a big lineup, and I would love to see what that looks like. You could cover a lot of ground, could play the matchup. I mean, you can do a lot of things in that, and then you can just chunk it and go get it, you know, with that group. So I'm anxious to try to get, you know, try to get Promise where she can function a little bit, her and Yamaya, so we can maybe look at that. But I do like our low post presence. I think those 3 kids are doing a great job. And you know, Sydney, our transfer from Michigan State, she can't play right now, but she's practicing every day. And man, you talk about a kid that can fill it up. And so that's an exciting, you know, piece to the puzzle to have in the future. And I mean, she's really going to be special for us. So, you know, we've got some options. It's real, like I said, it's real early. We're at practice number 4 today.
Is there a timetable for Promise? Do you expect to see her on the floor sometime this year?
Yeah, man. My timetable was yesterday. I would, you know, I'm hopeful that, you know, maybe by next Thursday when we finish these first 2 weeks that, you know, she's able to function a little bit throughout a practice. And, you know, when we come back from fall break, she's ready to maybe go and try to stay in as much as we can and get her in some type of shape where we can get her up and down, you know, a few possessions. Like I said, she had a pretty significant surgery, and our doctors are pleased with her. They love where she's at. They think she's in a, you know, really doing well. You know, as coaches, though, all we see is can she play or not, and right now she can't play. So, but you know, just in the individual workouts that we've had with her, we put her down there in position play. She's really got a presence down there. I was telling Johnny this morning, the difference between her and T, you get T going up and down in the heat of the moment, she'll drop step you into the band. Promise will catch it, she'll check you, she'll feel where you are, and she's got a finesse game to her physical presence where she can make that move and finish and not knock you down. And she's just, you know, we need to get her healthy. It's the bottom line.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, Hell State, praise the Lord and go Dogs.